Welcome to the Light of Sirio podcast. My name is Dori Fari and I will speak with a realized spiritual master about his views on life and the topic of spirituality.
Kirpal, my Sadguru, you are my path, you are the light that shines in my life. Kirpal, my Sadguru, you are my path, you are the light that shines on my life. When I came to you and I saw your face, I fell in love with you. I'll never forget you. Kirpal, my Sadguru, you are my path, you are the light that shines on my life. When I look into your eyes, they were brighter than diamonds. They were so beautiful, so piercing. Kirpal, my Sadguru, you are my path, you are the light that shines on my life. The glance that you gave me, it was so deep and true. I felt naked in front of you. Kirpal, my Sadguru, you are my path, you are the light that shines on my life. My soul went very high, I saw reality and truth. I was wonderstruck with an open mouth. Kirpal, my Sadguru, you are my path, you are the light that shines on my life. Then I listen to your Satsang. I saw you divine. You were no human, a God you became. Kirpal, my Sadguru, you are my path, you are the light that shines on my life. When I meditated with you, the door was wide open. I experienced bliss, ecstasy and joy. Kirpal, my Sadguru, you are my path, you are the light that shines on my life. Then you gave me initiation, which was above any my expectations. I dive into other dimensions. What can I say to praise you? What can I do to honor you? I will forever bow down in front of you. Kirpal, my Sadguru, you are my path, you are the light that shines on my life. Kirpal, my Sadguru, you are my path, you are the light that shines on my life. Om, 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 Om.
So this episode is a particular one this time because we are just very near to the anniversary of Master Kirpal's passing away, which is going to be tomorrow on the 21st of August, now when we publish this episode of this podcast. And here in the Sant Ashram in Italy, we are just having a wonderful spiritual intense meditation retreat with Master Sirio. So we are not only here with Master Sirio this time to register this podcast, but we have a very special guest with us, who is Norman Sharp from England, who is also an initiate of the great Master Kirpal. And I also would like to say about him in advance that Norman in a month is going to be 98 years old, and he took the trip. He made the trip from England to come to Italy to participate in this retreat when it is so hot now in Italy, and still he is here with us and showing us a great example. So those who participate in this retreat are very lucky because we have the example of Master Sirio, and besides him we have the example of Norman, two initiates of Master Kirpal. So I would like to welcome both of you. And I would like to ask first Master, please talk about or speak about this anniversary of Master Kirpal, to remember this, to celebrate it this way somehow.
So I would rather speak about how it was for me when I came to know that he left the body. As I said in my last podcast, I was in India in 1974 for the Conference on Unity of Man. I spent 15 days there, and there I had this hint that soon Master would leave the body. But then we came back home and life continued. We came to know that in May, Master Kirpal went to the Kumbh Mela in Hardwar, and he had a program there. They fixed up a camp, and he was there for some time, maybe a week or two, I don't know exactly, maybe more, because the Kumbh Mela lasts for a month usually. And in that camp they were having daily problems, and also he had a national conference with all the yogis who were present, many of them at least, who were present. They went and invited them to attend this national conference. And so things went on, and it seemed like his work kept going. In July there was a so-called Sant celebration in Delhi, which means a gathering of all the saints. So there were many invited people at this big event also. It was in July to celebrate Master Singh passing away. So I kind of forgot the fact that I had these hints that soon he would leave the body. So I was kind of hoping that I was wrong, and that life would go on, and he would keep living for some more time. But then, at the time in Milan, we were having two satsangs every week, on Thursday and Sunday. So I went for satsang on Sunday, and there was a person in charge to lead the satsang, because the group leader was missing. Usually he was always present, but on that occasion he was missing. And at the end of the satsang, the lady who was leading the satsang, she said, I have to inform you that unfortunately Master Kirpal on the evening of 21st of August has left the body. This was just some few days before. So when we heard this, we were kind of shocked, all of us. Maybe there were some 20 people in that room, and we all kind of freaked out. Many people were weeping, some people were even shouting. It was a kind of madness. So it was very strong experience for me, and I must say, for most of the people who were present. Some of them are quite my friends, whom I had brought to Satsang and on the path. And so for all of us it was really a big shock. And so we left eventually, after maybe meditating some 3 hours, we went back home, and the next week we met quite a number of us during the week. Also during the day we will meet and spend time together, trying to comfort each other about the big loss which we had. And for me it was such a depressing week, like very, very heavy. I lost my father some 2 years before, and my physical father, I mean, and the pain I felt was nothing in comparison with when my father left the body. Means when Master Kirpal left the body, the pain I experienced there was so much more strong than when my father left the body. So, for me that was a very intense experience. But at the same time there was also very strong presence of Master. It was very depressing, very painful, but also very uplifting at the same time. There was a mixture of so many feelings put together. I never experienced a condition like that in my life. It was very, very peculiar state of mind and state of consciousness.
Like everything upside down somehow.
No, it's like the end of a world that you know and that is so important for you. And the thing which mostly struck my mind, it was where am I going now to get that kind of blessing, upliftment, grace which I experienced with him? Where am I going to get it again? So then life went on. Next week I went back for Satsang on Sunday, and the group leader who had been in India from Master Kirpal for the funerals of Master Kirpal came back. At the end of the Satsang, he said, if you are wondering about if Master has left any successor, then I must tell you that Master has left no successor whatsoever. So there is no successor.
So it was like an abyss, like a desperating condition, that the Master has gone and where is the Master now?
So we were all hoping that he had left a successor, declared successor by him. But no, he didn't. So we were very bewildered, we were very worried, what to do, where to go, how to go on, how to proceed. So that's how it was for me when Master Kirpal left the body.
Well, it's really a very special and peculiar event that doesn't happen many times in the lifetime of a man, losing your master. So
well,
it's like,
I read two of these.
well, but it means that in all your life twice, but so it means it's not very frequent.
No, of course. You don't have 100 masters. You have one or two if you stick to the path and to the master.
So I imagine how strong was the effect of this fact. Yeah. And how was it for you, Norman? Do you remember that day when you got news about Master Kirpal leaving this world?
Yes, I remember the day very well, because I had a telegram from Sant Singh, who was and still is the representative in this country for Master Kirpal, and he sent me this sad news of Master leaving the body, and what a shock that was, because to remember Kirpal as he is and was such a buoyant, tremendous figure in our lives, for all initiates. You could imagine parting is such sweet sorrow, of course, but the living part of Master was what we are no longer able to turn to and ask, but yet, of course, we have to endure the elements of the human form. We have to bow to the Master's teachings also, and that is, remember him, he is situated astrally within us, and he is our support in every way. And I have to remember Kirpal as I saw him initially, such a beautiful person, a beautiful soul with dancing eyes, and moving so spiritually through his life and our lives, creating a beautiful remembrance in every way, in everyone's lives that met him. We have this beautiful remembrance, and we still have today the news of his presence, because it's always propagated by the Master's Sant, and now Sant Sirio is propagating the remembrance of this great, great, great soul that was on the physical earth and imparting God's will and teachings of love, which is a tremendous attribute to all the Masters, because this is how we live, really. And he brought us into being through love. And we have to come to that realization through a very sensuous life, through a karmic evolution, and through grace and goodwill of Masters. We brought together to share the experience of living through God's love and through the Masters opening the book, so that we're no longer clouded and no longer a mystery. So the mystery of life, the book of life, is being opened by the Masters. So I say thank you, Lord Kirpal, thank you. Sant Ajahn, thank you. Sant Sirio, thank you. It's also worth remembering that part of the sadness in my case was that I was booked to go the same month that Master left the body. I was booked to go to the ashram. And as I received this telegram that said I was all right to go by Master Kirpal, I read the telegram and he said, yes, you can come along. But there was something in it. I couldn't understand it. It said, yes, you can come, but yet there was something in it. Some maybe hesitant, and I thought, I wonder why that is. So I rang the representative, Singh, rang him up and said, look, this is the telegram. It says I can come, but yet I'm so hesitant about it. I read it. Will you listen to the telegram? So I read it to him, and he said, yes, you can come. You can come to India and meet the Master. So, well, I wonder why this hesitancy. But anyway, having the reassurance of something, then of course I was delighted to go for my stint in the ashram and to meet the beautiful Master Kirpal. And as it happened, that hesitant reveals the fact the Master somehow had put that suggestion in that he was going to leave, he knew he was going to leave. And that is the first little intimation that there was something amiss with my journey to meet the Master in his home surroundings. And so it was. And so the Masters do communicate to us at different levels, and we've got to pick them up. And but anyway, special moments, a special love, a special group to join with this reverential approach to the memory of the Master, Kirpal, who is our Master, whether we were initiated by him or not, because it's here in the present Master. So we can share that living memory of Kirpal.
So beautiful the way you express it. It's very beautiful, very heart-touching.
There's no beauty can express in words. It's got to be something silent within us. And we live and grow in the teachings of the Master, and we're still living and growing in the teachings of Kirpal, Ajahn and Sirio, because that's the root. That is the root. The root is God, and the root is love. And it's a shared bond. If we cast away our obstructions of the mind, maybe we can share something so wondrous, so beautiful, so opening even for the present world. Thank you anyway for including me in the bond of the Masters, in the lineage of the Masters. We are all very, very, very fortunate. Thank you, God. Thank you, Kirpal. Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you, Sirio.
Thank you, Norman, also for sharing this with us, because it's always very uplifting and beautiful when you speak about your love and your approach towards the Masters. It's really fantastic. And there was an expression which you said which especially caught me when you said his dancing eyes. This is very beautiful because I never heard this expression from you before. We had some conversations before, but now you said about Master Kirpal, his dancing eyes, and I remembered Master Sirio describing Master Kirpal when he gave an amazing darshan, and you also said like his eyes were like dancing on the people. And then, you know, I saw, of course, lots of photos of Master Kirpal, some videos, and I have read his words written in books, but now, just listening to you, that both of you said it like it matched together in me, and this is something which only you can know who met him in life, that the photos and the videos can give back these dancing eyes. That anyway, listening to you, I feel like living it, I feel like witnessing it through your experience that you share with us. It's very difficult to express what I feel listening to you about it, but
thank you.
It's just like one feels like feeling that darshan within, because it's just those moments which one has to be part in the living moment to understand what it is. So that's why I am so happy that we have today this episode like this and sharing, because as I feel so touched by this and so living your experiences, as both of you talk about Master Kirpal, I'm sure that many who listen to the podcast, they feel the same. So it's a precious gift.
Thank you very much.
And so, Master, do you have anything more to say about it, how it was in the Sant? Or did you go to, no, you didn't go to India for the funeral, but then still, how did you recover from this fact of losing your great master?
Well, life went on, so I kept attending Satsang, retreats. We had retreats also at the time. And as time passed, like 1 year or so, then the one who was the group leader at the time, who was Master Kirpal's representative, he began giving hints more and more that he was to pick up the role of a master. So I was a good friend of him. I liked him and I had some love for him. But in my perception and in my experience, I could never associate him with Master Kirpal. I could never put him at the same level with Master Kirpal. He was a good satsangi, an experienced satsangi, and I think a very good man. But to me, Master Kirpal was a giant, and he was an ant. So I couldn't really accept his picking up this role of a master. To me, he was a good representative, but he could never be a master. So some people began, let's say, considering him as a master and taking him as a master and becoming very attached to him. So by and by this manifested more and more into the satsang also, and at some point during a retreat he began giving satsang and giving darshan, especially to the people who were inclined towards him. But there was at least half of the group who was not inclined towards him. So somehow by and by we all detached from the satsang and went away.
So did you start another satsang yourself?
So yes, I started another satsang myself in my home. And we were some group that didn't feel inclined in that direction. And so we were having regular satsangs by ourselves. And then this happened, let's say, at the end of 1975. February 1976 came a telegram from India telling that the new master had been installed in Savanashram. His name was Singh, and that those who want to go meet the new master, they are welcome to come. So I thought, okay, I take a chance and go back to India, see how I relate with this master now. So it was a very difficult situation because somehow through his words, the one who was the representative and Pierfranco who had picked up his role, he created some kind of fear of, if you go to India, you will certainly be misled by the negative power. That was what he was repeating very often to us. And nobody would dare go into India. So I was the only one who wanted to challenge this kind of situation, closed up situation, and go see for myself and experience by myself without any fear of anybody. So again, I was the only one. As when I went in India in 1973, I left all my friends and went by myself. So this time also, I left all this satsang and I went by myself.
Did you go via land or did you go by airplane?
No, I went by plane.
This time you did the quick.
So when I was on the plane and the plane took off and I found myself into the space like this, I felt like breaking a curtain of iron around me, which was created by him, because we are really impressed into our mind this fear of going to India. So finally I was out of this fear and this conditioning, and I felt myself free to face my destiny, let's say. So I went to India. I arrived in Delhi, was like 4 o'clock in the morning, and at the airport. So I took a taxi, I went to the ashram, and I'd been at the ashram when there was this conference on unity of man, where there were so many people, where the atmosphere was so charged up, it was so powerful. And now I enter the ashram and it looked like a graveyard to me, to my perception. Like a graveyard, really. No life whatsoever. So I went around the master's house, I looked inside, and there were some people sleeping in his living room. So eventually one of them saw me, maybe was awake. So he came out and he asked me, "Where do you come from?" I said, "I come from India, from Italy." And he said, "Okay, you came to meet Thakur Singh, the new master?" I said, "Yes." So he said, "Okay, I take you into the guest guest house, and then you can meet him later on." So he took me into a room, and there was a man, German person. He was called Gobind Singh, and so he asked me, "How are you?" I said, "I'm fine." "How is it in Italy?" And I explained to him how was the situation in Italy, as I just explained it now. And he said, "Well, the new master was supposed to come here, and he has come here, so soon you're going to meet him." Now, since I didn't feel any master's presence over there, so I hope that somehow this person is not here now, maybe went somewhere. That's why I don't feel his presence. But now this person was saying he's here and soon you're going to meet him. So I thought, oh my God, how is it possible? So 6 o'clock, he took me into a room beside there, and there was going to, actually, was in process darshan with Thakur Singh, and soon there would be a meditation sitting. And there were some 15 satsangis from Germany, mainly from Germany, and maybe Austria, mostly from Germany. So when he saw me, he said, "Oh brother, where do you come from?" I said, "I come from Italy." So he hugged me, and then I sat down. He was sitting on a bed, and he said, "We are going to have a meditation sitting now. Do you want to sit or you want to go to rest?" I said, "No, it's okay for me. I can meditate with you." So I sat down in meditation, and it was like meditating with other satsangis, as I did in Italy or anywhere I did. Was nothing different.
So you didn't feel, even in his presence, a special upliftment, no master power?
No. I didn't feel any difference than meditating with any other satsangi. So I meditated and I had a good experience, because I always had a good experience anyway. And at the end he was asking the people, "How was your meditation? How was your meditation?" So I told him, I said, "Oh good, you had a good experience." He said, "Yes, that's how it is with me." And then there were meetings like this every day with him. I think in the afternoon also. Yes, morning and afternoon. So after 1 or 2 days, I told him, "I would like to have an interview with you. I would like to talk to you." I said, "Okay, as soon as I manage to have some time, we can talk." But like 2 days went on and he didn't give any communication. Eventually, after 3 days, I think, he told me, "Okay, you can come for an interview." So I went for this interview, And he asked me, how is it in Italy? How are the Satsang is doing in Italy? So I explained to him what had happened in Italy with Pierfranco. And he said, look here, all these people who claim to be masters, they are all misled by the negative power.
Oh, again, the negative
He said,
power.
Darshan Singh, this other person, they are all misled by the negative power. I am the only true one, he said.
Oh, what a declaration.
So, when you go back to Italy, you can take some tapes of my satsangs and let people listen to my satsangs. So when he said this, I was frozen, you know, because this kind of attitude, I always hated it. Telling those people are all misled by the negative power. I mean, for my mentality, it was really crazy, you know. Now these are anyway followers of Master Kirpal, and they are all misled by the negative power. I can't take it, that's all. So I told him, look, when I came here and I met Master Kirpal, I had extraordinary experiences. Now I have to see with you how it goes. So let's wait and see.
Yeah, you were quite honest and straightforward.
Yes, of course. And he said, okay, you are in Master's house, you can stay here and see for yourself how it goes. So, should I continue with this story?
Well, I wanted to ask Norman, did you also meet Takar Singh after Master Kirpal left the body?
After Master Kirpal left body, I was shocked, of course. There was that interlude of where do we go from here? And nowhere, because there was no one in England that was purporting to be of any quality to follow a master as a successor. And so I was free of all that burden, which really is a burden when you look upon some of the comings and goings of people that were interested in sitting on the dais. So I was spared that, and so nothing happened for me except the separation of and the grief of great Master Kirpal. And so until a new joy entered the world by the name of Ajaib, I was free from all the comings and goings of the mind and people that are pushing and crying for a successor without any knowledge of how it works. You know, because spirituality is involved, a life of toil, a life of inner struggle and outer struggle. A life of a coming master is very, very, very difficult. They're not obvious as it appears. It's a God choice, and that has to come in its own sweet will. Of course, you can mention negative power because, of course, he's dancing to his tune and raising his fist because the disturbance or the turbulence following the death of a great master is to his benefit. And we don't understand that side of it. But it's there. It's there.
It's very interesting what you say, and what I grasped from this all, it has been like a vacuum created after Master Kirpal. Like there was something very great and very powerful, radiant, and it was taken out. And then, like for the old Sangha was like a vacuum created, and lots of powers begin to move in many directions. So it's like a whirlpool, like a peaceful water that all at a sudden becomes full of whirlpools. Turbulence, and then waves and whirlpools are pulling you in all directions, and then you try to just swim because you would like to have that kind of air that you had before, not swimming in the water like you had with the Master Kirpal. And so this also, it's like very, very interesting to listen to it, because I never faced such a situation of losing master, and like otherwise it's unimaginable. But as you describe it, you really make it like real, and like put it in another spotlight. Because me, like reading about it, like Master Kirpal was born this year, then he left the body on that day, and then after that another master and whatever. So this for me is more like a data which I can read about and I can imagine something. But again, listening for such descriptions from people who lived it, it's really like being there again. So it's
particularly Master Sirio, because he was in the midst of all this, and he was the seeing eye, being able to properly recount the struggle that followed the bereavement of a great master, and how people are somehow anxious to take up the seat of a master for various reasons.
Yeah, yes, of course. Well, but also, like, I was just thinking that every year, since Master Kirpal left the body, this anniversary is remembered every year. There is a meditation retreat, spiritual retreat going on, and then, I mean, it's a very special and great event, which now I understand other aspects of it, which I just couldn't understand before. And something else came into my mind, actually, that how is it that one has to get a proper charge on the path to be able to go through, how to say, like when the rocky situation comes on the path. And so that it's very, very important to build up confidence on the path, to do the spiritual practice the proper way as the living master is teaching to us, to be able to go through difficult situations and to get that kind of nourishment which makes it possible for us to go on the path even in these difficult situations. And there is something which Master Sirio was telling about to me sometimes, and he didn't mention in the previous podcast, so I would like to ask you if you could tell about it, because it was an experience of yours which you had at the Unity of Man conference with Master Kirpal, which was really very, very touching, very moving for me when you were at the Unity of Man conference, and once you were telling about a very special darshan of his. And would you tell us about this story? Because it's I imagine something like a very, very special moment with the master that really gave a very special and particular addition to that kind of spiritual nourishment that Master Kirpal gave to you to go on with.
Well, I was talking about this in Satsang, I think 2 days ago, and I can just repeat the same. It was at the very beginning of the conference on Unity of Man. There was a square in which we all gathered before this march started going through Delhi. And we were several thousand people there, and there was a small platform on which Master Kirpal and some other leaders were standing, and one of them was talking at the microphone, telling things which of course I didn't understand because it was in Hindi. And at some point I saw Master Kirpal like waving like this, like almost falling down. So I thought, what's happening to him? But then he went behind the platform and he sat down with his legs down as I'm having now here. So since I was very close to the platform, I was just 1 meter from it, I just ran back with 2 friends of mine where Master was sitting. And I just found myself facing him from very close, really, like this, you know.
Oh, wow.
And so I look into his eyes, and his eyes became like 2 whirlpools, you know, like a black hole, I could say. And I just felt to be swallowed by his eyes. So it was an amazing experience, really, which happened just in a second, you know, in a minute. And I was just amazed looking at him, and he was so radiant, you know. His face, from each pore of his face, was radiating light.
Wow.
And his eyes became like this, you know. And my God, I was with my open mouth looking at him, you know. I was just swallowed by his eyes. And this enchantment lasted for some time. And then he said, okay, now we begin moving. So you join the other people and begin going. So we stood up and we began moving with this sea of people. There were some, maybe 100,000 people. And so it was a very, very special blessing for me. It was the most amazing darshan I had with Master Kirpal. There were others who were fantastic, but this was really a very peculiar darshan, the most amazing I had with him.
Well, but I also found amazing that there were so many people in that conference, and still you had been given this special moment.
The chance,
the chance,
the blessing of being close to him like this, yes. But it was very difficult to get close to him those days because really so many people were there. But, you know, when you have to get the blessing, God makes the situation. So I managed on 2 occasions to have this very special blessing. The other one was that evening when Master couldn't come to give us darshan at the end of the meditation, afternoon meditation. And so we were told that he wouldn't come. So I went out of the room and I saw near his house some 100 people waiting for his darshan. And there was his chair put in front of them. And there were 2 friends of mine, actually one was my brother. And they were just sitting there near his chair. So they hinted me, come and sit also here. We make space for you. And that also was a very special blessing because I would have never gone because it was for the Indians. The only 2 Westerners who were there. It was my brother and another friend of mine.
And then you as well.
And then me. So I ended up in front of them. So Master was here and I was just there, like this, sitting. And then there was this man who was really, I think he was madly in love with Master Kirpal, you know, because he had this photo of Master in his hand, and looking at the photo, and then looking at the door from where he would come. So and then back again at the photo. He went on like this, you know.
He was really waiting for the Master.
And so I thought, my God, this man is mad with him, that's all. And then Master came, and he came like a lion, you know, when he was very provocative with these dancing eyes, you know. So he came, he sat there like this, and he told him, Bolo, this thing. So he stood up, he went at the microphone, and he really sang out like this, you know, keeping out his love and devotion in a mad way, you know. This was very contagious. So all the people became kind of mad, you know.
Did they?
Yes, and people became kind of hysteric, you know. They began falling on the ground and screaming and crying. I had my mouth open, you know, as much as it could be.
Yeah.
And it was pure madness, you know. And Master was there really with this, you know, with this
The dancing eyes.
dancing eyes.
Oh yeah, what beautiful.
And we were all mad like this, you know. There was really holy madness, which I never experienced anywhere in my life.
Well, it sounds like really a great and holy love.
Well, that's the effect of you know, because a mission of a master begins and by builds up. And also the love and devotion of people who associate with him keeps building up. So this was the end of Master Kirpal's mission. And there were some people who were really madly in love with him. And so it becomes very intense, you know, very, very intense. Can be very, very intense.
Well, I think this was a peak, really. So I think maybe this is enough even for this podcast to close with this fantastic memory of yours which you have about the dancing eyes of Master Kirpal. And it's a beautiful way to remember him on this special anniversary. And as you showed, both of you, the greatness of Master Kirpal, how great he was, and also not just Master Kirpal, but the living master. What is a living master? And yeah, it's fantastic and really something that gives flavor to one's life. So I can just recommend to anybody who listens to this podcast, and if you don't have any master, you don't follow any path, then try to make your own experience, because as we can hear it from Master Sirio and now also from Norman, it's really something very special that gives a special sense to life. So I'm so thankful to both of you for this beautiful sharing. It has been very special for me. I feel very lucky to be able to sit here with both of you and listen to you. And I'm very thankful to Master Kirpal for sharing his blessing through you, also with me and with anybody who is listening to this podcast now. So, Jai Sadguru. And if anybody has any questions to Master Sirio, please send it to siriopodcast@gmail.com, and Master will reply in later episodes. And if you have any comments, you're most welcome to leave a comment under the episodes. So thank you for listening, and thank you, Master, and thank you, Norman, for being here.
You're most welcome. Thank you very much for helping me to reactivate my sweet memories of Master Kirpal, unshared by great Master Sirio, which is a beautiful moment for me to experience. Thank you.